So I've talked about cuts that are going to impact public schools and kids, but that's usually been in Ohio. I want to talk about the federal cuts that are happening right now in the House-passed budget. So the community eligibility provision, which feeds kids in schools, is going to receive cuts under the current plan. So the community eligibility provision just allows schools to say, hey, we have currently 25% of our students have some other assistance, whether it's SNAP or other benefits, and then the government will provide the funding to give all students in their school no-cost lunches and breakfasts. Now, the current budget cuts would turn that 25% threshold into a 60% threshold, which would mean a ton of schools would lose the funding that they're getting for free and reduced lunches for their students. This would also mean that if you don't meet the threshold to get kids free and reduced lunches individually, because you can still do that, individually, you have to do the paperwork for all of those kids. Say that you have an elementary school that has 600 students, 50% of them are receiving assistance, so you're eligible currently, but you won't be eligible in the future. You have to do the paperwork for all 50% of those students individually and ask their parents for information like how much their household makes, which some families just don't want to report to the school. And every kid deserves a good start, and that can start with just breakfast in the morning before school so that you're ready to learn. And just to give a shout out to a few districts who will be losing their eligibility, which you can look this up, this is public information. I'm going to shout out to some of my very favorite rural school districts, like the ones that I grew up in. For example, the district I grew up in, Licking Valley, will lose eligibility under this new budget proposal. New Boston School District in Scioto County will lose their provisions. The Dawson-Bryant schools in Lawrence County, they will lose eligibility under these provisions. The Mississinawa Valley Local School District in Darke County will lose their eligibility. East Knox School District will lose their eligibility. Pickwood City School District, you're at about 58% of children receiving some sort of assistance. Unfortunately, you too will lose your provisions. Middletown, where JD Vance is from, most of your schools will lose their eligibility. Riverview in Coshocton County, you'll lose your eligibility as well. Clear Fork Valley School District in Richland/Knox County, you will lose your eligibility. London City Schools, you're losing your eligibility. And now we're going to have it go to the Senate, and I encourage you to reach out to our two senators here in Ohio, so we have Bernie Moreno and John Husted. Reach out to them, tell them to not take away the lunches that your kids deserve in their districts, and to not burden your school districts with paperwork.